The Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners has announced they will offer significant support for an expansion and renovation of the Jones, if it is also supported by Amherst citizens. All should be welcome and comfortable at our library.
Many people who use a library today use it to write, to work on group projects, to come together, and we don't have enough public spaces where people can really come together without, right? Like right now, these guys are trying, they thought they found the quiet space.
I am also a children's book author and have gone visiting tons of libraries around the country, and it has really showed me just how out of step our beloved Jones is. Having been to those community centers where the books are along the walls and there are more flexible spaces, you realize that your library has about quadrupled the populations it can serve really, really meaningfully.
By becoming the centers of communities like Amherst, with all kinds of programs and activities for everyone, they can help bind the disparate elements that have come to comprise our society to the values and interests that were at the heart of the traditional library.
One of the difficulties that parents face is that you've got to, if your teenager or your young tween is doing a biography, they're coming up here, your younger child is downstairs, you've got them on 2 different floors, and just as a parent, that's, I think, difficult. The Woodbury room will be on the 1st floor in the design, and what's nice is that, so now, the only way to use the Woodbury after library hours is you have to prop the back door and have people come in the back door. In the new design, it'll have its own separate side entrance. There would be separate bathrooms, there would be a separate space, and so it makes that space usable for the public beyond library hours. The Woodbury room was built fairly recently. The money that was spent on AV equipment and on furniture so that all of that could move.
In the last 2.5 years, when they have been so kind and generous to allow us to use their community room, the Woodbury community room in their basement, for our Hampshire Mosque community, for prayer gatherings, for which we're very, very appreciative and thankful for their warm and generous support while our mosque is being renovated. And I see the value of a space in the community, a centralized space that is easily accessible and available for the public to use.
I am an ESL volunteer teacher at the Jones Library.
A conversation circle at the Jones Library, it's a good and safe place to practice our speaking English, to improve our also listening skills.
There are 5 of those groups, as well as 150 volunteers who work with international students and international visitors on a one-to-one basis. And I would say in the ESL program, the thing that is most needed, and it's needed very badly, are spaces where people can work one-on-one or maybe with 1 or 2 people and help them with their English language acquisition. And we just don't have that now.
And as a parent of 2 teens, I'm so excited about this project. I think having a space for the teens to be independent and creative and productive, and they'll have a space to study.
I feel that the Jones Library could really benefit from having spaces where teens could collaborate with each other without disrupting others.
The idea behind a teen space is that you get them in for a video, or you get them in for, laser tag or whatever it is. But then once they're in there and once they make that connection and relationship with the teen librarian, then all of a sudden they're asking about a book. These small rooms, because we can't really use them for public spaces, are winding up being overflow spaces. So all of these areas wind up being incredibly inefficiently used. The only way to access the 1928 portion of the 2nd and 3rd floor is with this elevator. And this isn't a fully compliant ADA elevator. So you could put a regular sized wheelchair in, but you can't turn the wheelchair around to come out forward, which becomes more problematic on the 2nd floor. And so it just creates some public safety issues. So one of the other things right now is for special collections. So there's an exhibit space, but you can only see the exhibit space if special collections is open, and there are limited hours for special collections. So in the new design, again, you come down off the elevator, you'd have the Burnett Gallery, you'd have the special collections exhibit. So now you can see the special collections exhibit as long as the library is open. We don't have enough computers, so we'll be doubling our computers once we double the space, which then gets back to beautiful building, very aesthetically lovely, but we don't have the ability to wire. Like when we go upstairs, when you see all the wirings above ground and duct tape down, so for us to double our computer or our Wi-Fi ability is more wires hanging in awkward places that make it unsafe. We just, again, it's just not designed. It wasn't built. I mean, 1990s and 1928, you weren't thinking about, 70 computer terminals.
So I think mostly about this as an investment in our community. Any money and resources and energy that we put toward making the library more accessible to more people, having the facilities that will make more programming that's more interesting to more people available is money and energy well spent.
This space, I mean, I think everybody knows it's a beautiful space. It's really hot on a hot day. It leaks. We have buckets out here. And that's part of the issue that we're dealing with. Are we serving our community anymore? And our community has changed so dramatically over the years that the way we service the community has to change as well. So this is no longer a place where you come and you check out a book. We have to be so much more.